All right, guys, we're gonna start the live. I'm back after a long time, guys. Back after a long time. We are going to start now. I have started a mentorship in since last week, so we're back at it. I'm gonna share with you guys a few things here, and I'll let you guys know. So, a couple things here, guys. I'm gonna share my journey a little bit from 2018. So I started my trading journey in 2018 and learned the basics of Forex, the absolute basics, and you know, basic terminology, basic concepts, right from baby pips. And I thought I had everything down, but unfortunately, that was not the case, right? Hi, PR Gill. Right, so that was one of the cases. The next thing was that whole year was a scratch year for me from 2018 all the way to the end of 2018. I tried as much as possible, but I wasn't, consistent with it. I opened a demo account, but it wasn't really real money, so didn't really have an interest with it. And then I went on to 2019, and I opened a live account. The live accounts that I opened up were okay. I'm from Toronto, Canada. So Toronto, Canada, and yeah, based in Canada. Anyhow, back to hi Steven, what's up? So back to 2019, I started opening live accounts, depositing $100, $200 at a time, and you know, made some money, lost some money, made some money, and then boom, blew the account. Account after account, I blew month over month, and at that point, I realized that I wasted a lot of time, a lot of, a lot of money. From Vancouver, Canada, nice. So good to have you in the chat, and hope you like the journey, and I hope you like what I offer as well, right? So I understand the demand to learn how to trade, you know, from today's time, right? So the demand that is from an average individual to wanting to learn how to trade is skyrocketing, right? So we know that because of the mere fact that trading is everywhere now, right? And people are not willing to learn, about long-term investing. They want the short-term investment. That's where it is at right now, and that's where a mentor, an educator, somebody who's in the space who can be of proper education can come into play. So that's the story right now. And anyhow, so in 2019, I opened some accounts. Okay, no, not Rex still. I'm not gonna give you guys the exact area where I live from, but I am from Toronto. Anyhow, um, in 2019, I opened some accounts, blew a lot of accounts. In the middle of 2019 is when I realized that I need to, because I see profit on the account at times, I need to learn a system and figure things out, right? Okay, nice, Matt. Nice to see you. And from London, Ontario, I suppose. So again, great having you in the chat. Just describing my journey into trading to where I am now. Anyhow, um, so got some courses, you know, kind of looked through them, but didn't really resonate with me. So now come to 2020, January of 2020. So 2 years later now, I had to restart, right? And um, I understood that it was not going to be an easy journey, right? But I restarted 2 years later, and um, those 2 years really, hit me hard because I lost money, I lost time, energy, effort, everything. Um, and so what I did was I cut out all the noise, right? I cut out everything, all the noise, and I put a naked blank chart right on TradingView for the pairs that I trade, and I simply just watch the charts day in, day out. And of course, I did have some demo accounts and some live accounts with a small capital because I didn't want to feel the trade in its full capacity with a live account. But anyhow, started looking at markets and I understood that there are ranges, right? That there's ranges, there's consolidation periods for for a large period of time. And um, the more I looked at that, the more I understood that there is potential here, right? Uh, Building on a system, working on certain factors of the range system. And, from that element, I was able to figure some things out, right? So I trade the ranges, top and bottom, right? And I figured out, a few factors that could, put me into an advantage when I trade the ranges, right? So it's not simply just buying at the bottom, selling at the top. What it is that you lay down some rules on how to enter effectively, right, efficiently, and see if there's success from that. So I was able to do that, and one of the main things that allowed me to see more success, right, a higher win rate, is by allowing, um, or by making my execution safer. So instead of market execution orders, I started doing limit orders, right? So limit orders, buy stops, sell stops, and so forth. And that certainly brought my winning rate higher, right? Because now I was not kind of entering at will, right? On impulse moves, right? Impulse entries. Instead, I had defined entries at certain areas of interest or certain areas where I was able to have some breathing room for the price to react at, right, at the bottom or top of the range. And, that certainly helped. And, but again, the work was not done. Building out the system, adding certain factors, it was not, you know, going to be easy work. So afterwards, what I did was, as I got more success, so in May of 2020 is when I started with my first FTMO prop firm challenge, right? in May of 2020. And so I learned about FTMO a couple months before that, so maybe somewhere in March of 2020. I was intrigued by the model of prop firms, right? How prop firms are, how they, run, and what is the payout system. How can I benefit from being a prop firm trader and being undercapitalized, as far as my own capital is concerned. And I got to know them. Obviously, it was early in my learning journey as well, not only early in my prop firm trading journey. So as I was learning, and building out a system, I also started with prop firms where I could take full advantage, right, as I succeeded. So um, I started succeeding more and more as I was perfecting my system by adding factors like limit orders, other factors, an indicator EMA I use, just a single EMA. Also understanding candlestick patterns, also understanding, top and bottom ranges where, indicators line up, other confluences line up, large volume session openings and closings, larger time frame candle openings. So all of these factors, played a huge role in me laying out ground rules for my system. And as I was laying out more rules and, defining them, on a better level, I started seeing more success in my trading, right? So I started passing phase one, phase two of a challenge, and then getting onto a funded account, right? But again, I started my first prop firm challenge in May of 2020, and it took me um, a year and a half to get to my first prop firm payout, right? And that leads me to October of 2021. So I'm going to share my screen here, guys. I'm going to flip the screen here. I'm going to show you guys what that payout looks like. So, and again, these are certificates by FTMO and other prop firms. You guys are able to scan these and see if these are legitimate for yourself, right? So, um, this is my first prop firm payout, right? And again, it took me a year and a half from May of 2020 to October of 2021. So again, these are scannable QR codes you guys can check and see for yourself. And, um, you know, you guys can figure out how to scan it and see if it's legitimate. FTMO, this prop firm right here, is the #1 prop firm in the world, right? And they have over 3 million registered traders with them. So this was my very first prop firm payout. And it took me a year and a half, again, early in my learning journey, early in my prop firm trading journey in early 2020 to getting my first payout a year and a half later. So as I was building on the system, again, I corrected certain factors, certain elements, and was able to get to this payout, right? And once I broke this curse, once I was able to understand how I can get to a payout, at that point, it was just a matter of getting to, um, another payout, right? So I broke that curse and I was able to get to this second payout, right? Okay. All right. Thank you, ISN4P. Appreciate that. And yeah, so my second payout was right here. And again, all scannable QR codes, guys. This took me, 2 weeks to make, right? So for FTMO, it's a bi-weekly payout period, right? So as soon as you are in a payout, after 14 days, you're able to select that. And what took me a year and a half to get just one took me 2 weeks later to get this one. And so, um, you know, a lot of hard work. And you can see now how things can quickly take a turn as right. So it was a major boost in my confidence in my working system that I was continuing to modify and tweak and adjusting. As I was adjusting it, I saw more results, right? So I passed phase one, phase two. Then I finally got to the point where I was able to see profit and consecutive. This one was 4 times the previous 2 weeks payout. So you guys can see how big of a change can occur as long as you have a working system that you can work with, right? And guys, this one was my absolute largest single payout from any prop firm in at least my trading history. And this one was 37. So because I am Canadian, kind of adds up to around 46, $47,000 um, Canadian. So 37,000 USD is have a full length YouTube video, so you guys can click on my bio and check for yourself. This is a full length. I have a full length video on showing the payout, right, and the bank wire, the whole process, and even sharing some charts and how I got to this payout. So this is my single largest payout in in my prop firm trading history. So a big one here, and again, nearly a full-time income, guys, all in one go. And from there, guys, a huge bubble, right? A prop firms popping up, 2022, 2023, 2024. And this is another prop firm that I would recommend personally. It's E8 Markets. So I received this payout, 13,110. This was my first payout with this prop firm, E8 Markets, another Forex prop firm. And it's I received with this prop firm. I believe it's the largest, 13,000 Canadian, right? And again, it's not always I'm going to get five-figure payouts. You guys can see some smaller amounts as well, right? But the possibility is there. The possibility is certainly there. A lot of payouts. This was another big one. I believe the second largest one I received with this prop firm. It's almost what 18, 19,000, right? So that was another one. I earned this amount with E8 Markets up until last year in 2024. I was one of the largest, one of the top traders with E8 Markets in 2024. So they did certainly send me an email, and I was able to in Canada in 2024 with this prop firm, and they did send an email with the interview, um, asking for an interview, but I did not answer back at that moment. I'll show you guys the email in a bit as well, but I might just pursue an email, or sorry, sometime later this year, right? So that's that, guys. Again, all of them are scannable. You guys can scan the QR codes and see for yourself if these are legitimate, if they go to the actual prop firm website, right? So this one's E8 Markets, and this one is FTM. Total amount over 50,000 in payouts from FTMO alone, and you guys can see that it is a platinum certificate. So anyone that earns over 50,000 um, will get a platinum certificate, right? Which is so that's what I'm on here for, guys. For me personally, it is certainly a journey, and going back in 2018 when I first started learning the absolute basics, where I had no idea. It was a whole scratch year, wasted money, wasted funds, and wasn't able to secure any withdrawals, any payouts, and took me a couple years to restart again. And winning rate stretch, I saw my payouts increase. The ability to get to a funded account certainly increased. And again, I've been sharing my journey on YouTube, on Instagram, and other platforms for a while now. So everything is well documented, and you guys can certainly take a look. And that's where it's at. So I'm gonna be on the live streams, guys, on YouTube a lot more. We're gonna do a lot of different things. Talk about the week ahead, and kind of mix it up. And again, certainly, if you guys have any questions, you guys can ask, right? So, what is Forex? How to get started in trading? What are prop firms? What are some recommended prop firms? I'm here for it all. And again, any questions you guys launched a mentorship last week. I have done previous ones, but this time around, guys, I'm going to be sticking around for a longer time. I understand the demand for many to learn how to trade. The demand to wanting to not hold on to something for long term, right? So day trading, you could be in and out in minutes, in hours, in days, rather than long-term investing. I understand the demand is there. Nobody is really believing the long-term vision of any company or any stock or anything at all, to be honest, right? Nobody wants to hold long-term anymore. So they're liquidating themselves out of the stock market and going where you can make short-term profits, right? And I don't mean like, the getting rich quick scheme type of thing, right? Where you're thinking that you're gonna make money really quickly. No, but learning a skill, a high income skill where you can earn a lot in a short period of time, right? That is certainly possible with day trading, right? But you have to, commit yourself and understand that there's a process, right? And certainly in today's time where you have, the access to, especially on live platforms such as YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you're able to speak to, an educator, a mentor directly and ask questions. And if you feel you have done your due diligence, you can pursue their system or their style of teaching, right? And for me personally, and I've been around on my YouTube. You guys can take a look, my previous live streams on YouTube, and see for yourself, what's out there in my YouTube videos as well. And I'm coming back on here strong now. Mentorship is launched last week. Now the mentorship involves, two parts, right? One is if you want to just learn the system alone, that's one thing. The other element is where you want to learn and earn, right? So one factor is that if you want to learn just the system alone, you take the course, right? So the course route. What I recommend if you really want to pursue, solid education and mentorship, then you want to learn the system to be a part of the mentor, the educator, they, attend the live and they show their setups using the same system that they're teaching day in, day out, right? And nowadays, because it's so saturated, anyone that does not show their setups live, right, you can question them, right? So if it's just a course out there and there's nothing else, you have to put the groundwork on your own, and it's going to get very, very tough, right? And so from that aspect, what you need to do is get to first understanding what you want to learn, right? Which financial market. Number two, who you want to learn from. So attend lives like this or on the platforms and see what you can do. And then from there, pursue whatever they're offering, right? So if it's live streams that you can attend, go ahead with that, right? If there's a program, a trading course, pursue that system, and you feel that that this is what it is, then you go ahead and pursue that, right? And so those are the type of things that you have to really push towards, right? Because again, I get a lot of from my mentorship now, since I launched last week. I've been getting a lot of traders with a lot of experience, but they have not found profitability yet, right? Even with prop firms, guys, 90 to 95% never see a payout, right? And I've shown you guys just a sample of how many payouts I have. And again, they're all scannable. You guys can take a look. I have full YouTube videos on the payout process of some of the payouts I've received. But nonetheless, it's a process, right? You learn the system and then you can earn, right? But don't bypass that system, the process. Because I did that in the last 2 years and I had to start over again. And then I had to learn for another 2 and 3 years, 3.5 years on top of that to get to profitability and making sense of the markets, making sense of a system, a working system, a back tested system where I was able And again, you guys can check out my YouTube live streams, guys. I've done it live on YouTube for a very long time, and then I went private, and so my mentorship is locked in, right? Again, experienced trader with a lot of experience or very limited experience or an absolute beginner. It is for everyone, but there is a process to follow, right? So I have a basic mentorship, a premium mentorship. You guys can take a look. Link is in the bio, and t.forex.com. You guys can take a look and see if it's of interest. Again, we do have live streams every single day, Mondays to Fridays. We're gonna have a live stream in about 5 hours from now. It's gonna be 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern time, so 5 hours from now. Stay tuned in, and we'll go from there. On some live streams, guys, I'm just gonna be talking to you guys, about certain aspects. In certain live stream, I'm going to be splitting the screen and showing you guys some of the setups that we had last week. It's just a short intro for today for the live. Stay tuned in, guys. If you guys want to, learn as a beginner, as an experienced trader, but does not, if you're experienced but you don't have you don't see a working system, like you have, many years that you've been grinding out, but you're not able to find the right system to trade on a consistent level and see consistency in terms of, withdrawals, payouts, whatever the case may be. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. And, I'll certainly show you guys, there's a huge ability in learning this. And, you should not allow yourself to get caught up and not pursue something, right? There's a risk, there's a leap of faith that you have to do. If I never took the leap of faith by going with a prop firm, by trying to learn how to trade, I would have never been able to get 6 figures plus in prop firm payouts alone, right? And so all it takes is a little bit of risk, but again, you have the assessment, that you can do, right? Jump on the stream, ask the right questions, and see for yourself. See there, right? With the trader, with the mentor, with the educator, see the claims, um, see what they have out in terms of this platform, other platforms, and see if there's belief in there, right? If not, then of course you don't need to pursue anything, right? And you can just move on. But if there's legitimacy, you're asking the right questions, and you're getting the answers, then you know that's where everything comes about. So yeah, so we're gonna start from the ground up, guys. I am going to even starting a mentorship again, right? And this one is going to be a longer term mentorship. Uh, I'm going all the way in, guys. So this is going to be something that I'm going to pursue for a long time. We're going to get, to a top spot in one of the largest private day trading communities, right? I'm not going anywhere. So you guys can take a look and see for yourself. And, that's about pretty much it, guys. If there's any questions you guys may have, right? If mind that join my live streams back, I am going to have a split screen in the future for my other lives, showing the charts, showing other data and so forth, and making it more interactive. But we're coming back, and we're coming back strong, guys. So stay tuned, and we're gonna go all in, guys. We're gonna reach the top spot or top 10, and we're going to create one of the largest private day trading communities in the world, and we're going to start one step at a time, right? So I love working with individuals in my previous mentorship. I love the effort that everybody put in once they do join the mentorship. There's a commitment element, there's a persistence element, and you have to stay committed, stay disciplined, and there's many individuals, many past members that I work with that eventually got to a payout, right? So the mentorships certainly work. It's an accelerator to your learning, and eventually the goal is for you to learn the system, learn how to day trade on your own, and or learn how to day trade, by attending the live streams, and eventually, but it's an accelerator, for beginners, for individuals that have not found success in the markets, and we're gonna go strong. right? And I'm not stopping this time, guys. I did mentorship previously. Great run, amazing, returns as far as results from students. I'm a very result oriented person, and I understand the demand for learning now is more than ever, and I'm ready to take on the challenge to grow this into one of the largest private day trading communities, and I'm not stopping till we get there. So, look out for me. Subscribe if you haven't. Like, follow, whatever you want to do. But stay tuned. We are going to be on live, almost every day, and I can't wait to continue this mission to grow the community in the most genuine and honest way, and help individuals, use the power of prop firms to, break those limits that they may, think that they have, create another source of income that many need. And so, I'm all in for this, guys. So again, subscribe, stay notified. Until then, I'll see you guys. Take care.